His father sits at the head of the table, James and I on either side of him. James constantly gives me reassuring looks, but I don't know if he's trying to reassure me or himself. It's clear that he's uncomfortable with this, me meeting his father. It only makes me nervous. It only makes the weird feelings grow. So Ray, his father begins, taking lead. What pack do you come from? The Waters pack, I answer timidly, not wanting to talk at all, even though I agreed to this. I feel as I did when I first met James, hardly saying a word. His father nods. And you're not of an alpha bloodline? No, I say carefully. I'm not. He nods again. Of a beta bloodline? I shake my head and throw in an amused smile to show that I'm not hurt, even though I am. I wonder if he's comparing me to Juliana. If so, he's probably thinking that I'm worse at this point. At least she was of alpha blood. James takes over and starts to talk about the rogue problem at the east border and how they're trying to solve it, giving me a moment to breathe. But it's not long until he comes back to me. And what have you been up to as Luna? James cuts in, trying to hold him back. She hasn't been announced as Luna yet. Well, surely she can announce herself as Luna, he says and looks to me. Right, Ray? I suppose, I mumble, not wanting to bring up the fact that I have told a few people. No, it's not her fault. I should be the one to do it. I'm sure Ray can handle it. You're busy, James. Let her work some, he says, continuously pointing the finger at me. I'm sure she needs things to do other than hanging around the house. Both the Alpha and the Luna need to work together. You see, that's where I went wrong. I lift small forks of potato into my mouth, wanting to leave. I didn't think he was going to bring up Juliana, let alone blatantly compare us to them. Ray is still getting used to the pack, James explains. I'm sure she'd love to help out when she's ready. I nod. Of course. Good. The pack comes first. I don't want to see you two rushing towards having children when there's so much more to deal with. Family matters can wait until everything is near perfection, right, Ray? This is all one giant lesson on what not to do. Part of me wants to disagree and say that I want a child right now just to see what James will say if he'd agree with his father. Maybe that's why he doesn't want to touch me, because he doesn't want children. I don't see how that's a problem, though, with means of protection. Right, I say, not knowing how I really feel. The pack comes first. When dinner comes to an end, I help Gail and Teresa clean up while Jane says goodbye to his father. As I bring in the stack of plates, Gail asks, "How did it go?" "He doesn't like me," I say. "Oh, I doubt that," Teresa joins in. "I'm sure you're just taking what he said the wrong way, dear. The entire time he was telling me what to do and how to be better. It's clear that he's disappointed in me as his son's mate. He thought I was going to at least be of alpha blood." Gail takes the plates from me, and I sit down at the counter. "Well, he's leaving now, so don't worry too much about it, all right? What matters is what you think, not him. James is your mate, not his father. So don't try to impress him, all right?" "Okay, you're right. At least he's leaving." I head upstairs to change, wanting out of these clothes and back into my comfortable ones. Assuming James would come to see me, I'm not surprised when he comes through my bedroom door. I quickly pull on my shirt when I hear him, leaving the bathroom to find him sitting on the bed. I have to know his thoughts on the dinner before I rant about his father's words. So I'm relieved when he says, "I'm sorry about him. I didn't think he'd go so far." I drift towards him, not feeling fiery anymore. I didn't think he would either. I didn't think the entire dinner was going to be a lesson in everything I'm doing wrong. "We both know he's just comparing you to my mother, trying to make you the anti-her." James glances up at me as I sit down. "Well, I don't want to worry about it. He's gone anyway." James looks away. He's not leaving. He's actually very adamant about staying until he knows that we're doing a good job. He notices my sudden shock and is quick to blow out my flame. "Don't worry. I'm going to talk with him tomorrow and tell him that he can't stay. I'm going to tell him that he needs to go home and let me do my job. You know, he meant only me. He needs to make sure I'm doing a good job." I say, completely annoyed. "You need to stand up to him." "I am," James assures me, placing his hand on my thigh. "He's not going to be a problem, okay?" "Okay," I say softly, placing my hand on top of his, thinking back to my thoughts earlier. Should I ask him about it, or will I just make a fool out of myself? I'm tired of being embarrassed, but I want to be open with him. Just thinking about it makes me restless. Those times when I'd sneak into his bedroom and lay on his bed are fresh in my mind. Back then, it took only his scent to send me into a frenzy, and I learned to control myself. So I wonder if James has done the same. When your father brought up rushing into having children, is that why you're so hesitant? You don't want to worry about having children too soon, because we both know there's an obvious fix to. No, Ray, that's not the reason, he says, giving into the conversation. Then will you tell me what is? I ask gently, carefully so he doesn't feel pressured to hide the truth. James takes in a breath as if he's preparing to open up. I scoot closer, grabbing his hand and giving him an encouraging look. It feels odd holding an alpha's hand and encouraging him to tell me what he's really thinking, but when I remind myself that he is also my mate, it makes sense again. You're so good, Ray, he murmurs, gazing into my eyes and bringing me towards some trance. You're good and pure and caring and forgiving, and I can't bring myself to have you when I don't deserve you. I can't be with you after I've been so unfaithful to our bond. You're right. You were unfaithful. You didn't deserve me, not in the slightest. But that's all in the past, James. You're a different person now, someone I know I can trust. You care about me. I see that. I see that you've changed. You need me. You keep me safe. You make sure that I'm okay. You deserve me now. I don't want to hear you say otherwise when I know it's not true. I'm telling you this, and that's all that matters. I forgive you for being unfaithful, okay? He shifts away. James, I forgive you. You shouldn't, I grab his arm. Well, I am. I'm forgiving you, and you have to forgive yourself. He looks at me closely. What I did is unforgivable. Don't say that. What do I have to do? Do I have to be with someone else to make it even? Is that what you want? He immediately tenses. Impatient and tired of it, I bring my hand to his face, holding his jaw so he can't look away from me. I forgive you. Do you forgive me for doing what I did that night? I do, he says, grabbing my arm, bringing my hand down, but I don't want to let go of him, so I keep my grasp on his shoulder. I forgive myself for doing what I did. Now can you please, for me, at least try to forgive yourself for doing what you did? James seems to relax under my touch. He leans into me and holds me against his chest, his hand gripping my shirt while the other holds tightly. I will, he breathes out. For you. You mean everything to me. You scared me, Ray. I was so afraid of losing you. His grip tightens, and I feel myself getting emotional. I'm sorry that I made you feel controlled or babied. I'm just worried about you. I can't lose you. Tears well in my eyes, and I hold him back, grasping to him as if he's going to fall. I'm sorry that I did that to you. I mumble. Especially after what happened with your mother, I was unbelievably cruel. We stay like this for a moment, embracing each other until James pulls away, but he doesn't let go of me. All I wanted was to be close to you, James. I feel close now. He gives me a passionate, hard kiss, his arms still holding me close. I've always wanted you. I've wanted you from the moment I saw you. You can have me, I whisper. Ray, I know you feel guilty, but I like being only for you. I only want to be for you. No one else can have me but you, and I know you like it too. He gives me an intense look. I can't be anyone else's. I don't want to be anyone else's, so you may as well make me yours in every way. My hand lightly touches the spot where my neck and shoulder meet, the place where an alpha lays his mark. James runs his hand down my shoulder. You're not of alpha blood. It will hurt. I don't care, I breathe out, watching as he nears the spot. I hold my breath and squeeze my eyes shut, feeling his hold tighten on my arm as his other hand grabs mine. I rest my head on his shoulder and feel him lightly kiss my skin before his teeth press against me. I feel them grow and sharpen, his canine teeth now exposed. My heart races relentlessly as he tightens his hold on me even more, wondering how bad it will hurt. He kisses my skin one more time before I feel the sudden and intense pain of his teeth burying into me. I flinch and yelp, my hand roughly squeezing his. I whimper as he lets go, making it all quick for my benefit. I take a deep breath and try to block out the throbbing, but it surprisingly fades away as James kisses the spot again. I relax as he takes the pain away, resting against him. He says against me, "Are you okay?" I nod, reassuring him as he moves away. "You're bleeding a bit," he tells me, but the overwhelming feeling of wholeness inside of me makes it hard to focus. "I'm okay," I mumble, my heart being stuffed with love. James asks, "In every way?" I feel his hands run up my thighs, lighting a fire inside of me. In every way. The blankets are soft against my skin. Light pours in through the closed shutters, giving a dim warmth to the room, and I feel his arms around me. I feel his shallow breasts just reach the back of my neck. I feel like another version of myself, one that I've never met, but one that takes away the anxiety and sadness that clouded my mind before. I'm still Ray, but I'm content Ray. I'm satisfied Ray. I'm Ray who just might be okay in the end. Right here, in this spot, I feel happy. It's a light, cozy happiness that kisses your cheek in the morning and again before you fall asleep. It's breathless and smells like home. It's a cracked but lush sidewalk, filling up the holes with color and life. It's summer days and nights on the beach, hearing nothing but the waves. Happiness is me and my one true partner acting as a team and not as enemies. It's experiencing my lowest point, then my highest, and being able to appreciate it, being able to let the past go. I was young and angry at my world. My family was broken. My father was dead. A self-hatred grew and devoured me. I was reckless and obsessed at the same time, acting like a fool towards others and revealing the pain only to myself. James knows that I was suffering. He's seen the outcome of years of my convincing. He doesn't have to ask me if I hated myself in the past, because as Teresa said, he observes, he reads people. He was a quiet child who had to do it to understand his family. That's what we share, a broken family and years of getting over it. We both have sloppily tried to heal our wounds, but it wasn't until now that I feel the bleeding coming to a stop. James shifts beside me, holding me tighter. He takes a deep breath, as if he's preparing to wake up soon. I slip out of bed and head into the bathroom, feeling a little sore but relaxed overall. Turning to the shower, I step right in and turn it on, letting the cold shock me awake for the second it lasts, before becoming warm. I wash my hair and rinse it all out, enjoying the fresh smell of the shampoo when I hear James and feel his hands wrap around me the way I once imagined them. "Good morning," he hums in my ear. I've never felt so close to someone, so dependent and so cared for. The trust established between us is permanent, and we both understand the vulnerability we've given to each other. We know how it feels to be crossed, and we agreed that those feelings should never be felt again. Since our talk, since he marked me, and since we are fully mated, we've agreed to work as a team, Alpha and Luna. "Good morning," I mumble back, too focused on his hands to remember where I am. After our shower, and after we've dressed ourselves and brushed ourselves and smiled at each other, we walk downstairs together. Teresa and Gail seem quite surprised and quickly make room for us at the table. "You want the usual?" Gail asks me. "What's the usual?" James questions, and I blush, feeling giddy already. Such little things have become so exciting. "Pancakes," I say, smiling. Gail makes some for the both of us, and while bringing forkfuls to my mouth, I can't help but keep the smiling act going. The sudden rush of emotions and sensations given to me have sent me overboard. Images come to my mind from last night and just earlier this morning. The feelings run through my body again, my nerves, not wanting to forget what it all felt like. A deep wave washes over me, sending a chill up my spine. In my state of infatuation, I wonder if this is a temporary fix like the alcohol was. I wonder if I'll find myself sobering up any minute, only to obsess and nitpick at what we had done last night. Maybe I should hold on to this moment while I can, just in case I am shoved off another cliff. It is a terrifying thought, wondering if Nightmare Ray will come again and lay me down in the bathtub. Needing to get away from such ideas, I fork another bite into my mouth and look up at James. I'll come with you today to talk to your father. I feel like I should be there too. You can come if that's what you really want. I'd hate for you to get upset again if he said something offensive. I shake my head. No, I'll be fine. I want to be there for you. I stand in my mirror while James waits downstairs for me. Sometimes I don't know who I'm looking at, if it's old Ray, or Nightmare Ray, or Content Ray. The worrying part is that I don't remember Ray. I don't remember a time when I was simply me, and that makes my skin curl. If I had to guess, I stopped being Ray after my father's death. But even then, I was too young to make a person of myself. Some things I need to keep to myself, and one is this. Even if James never hurt me, if he was freakishly perfect, I wouldn't try and explain these moments to him. It's not for anyone but me, whoever I am today. That is the one thing all of my versions have in common. They understand that these thoughts are to never be shared. It is not because I'm embarrassed or dodging the fact that something may be wrong with me. It is because there is just no way for me to explain it and keep the reputation I have in everyone's head. As of now, Gail and Theresa think I'm a sad girl who needs more love. Theodore probably finds me crazy and reckless. And my mother thinks I'm a stubborn child, and I can handle this way. After my first gathering, at the fragile age of 16, I had promised myself that I could be happy without a Nate. It took me nearly 4 years to realize that wasn't true. It's possible that I'm one of those people who just need more time than others. Gail and Theresa already know about my incident, and that is as much as they ever need to know. I meet James downstairs, and we walk side by side towards the eastern borders where his father has been working on the rogue issue. Along the way, James talks about going on runs together, and his desire to converse about more things we can do with each other brings back hits of the lightness I felt earlier. My fear of losing this happiness is holding me back from fully embracing it, but sometime along the way I forget about my prodding thoughts and limit myself to listening to him. When we come up to a few guards, James's demeanor changes, and I know it's because alpha mode must take over to keep loyalty. He asks where his father is, and one of the three says he's just through those trees. Part of me wants to grab James' hand, but the other knows that I must be a strong individual, showing everyone that I am an independent and serious Luna. That is the best kind, right? James spots his father grouped with more guards, all looking tired, sweaty, and pink. His father sees us right away and excuses himself from the commotion, obviously in charge of the bunch. 1 or 2 wolves emerge from the trees, shifting and causing me to swiftly look away, focusing on his father again. "Are you sure?" he asks carefully, and does not seem normal. He talks as if he's still alpha. He continues to use the tone of an alpha, and I'm sure James doesn't appreciate it. The rogues are starting to leave, yes, but there are still so many to go. Really, I believe there's a camp forming, and I think I should be here to handle it. James clenches his jaw. "And you think I can't? Have you forgotten about the camp problems 2 years ago that I stopped in a week?" Its father looks at me again, sighing. "You don't have to make up all of this. I know why you want me gone." "I'm sure you were a wonderful alpha," I join in. "And I know James appreciates all you've done for the pack while I've been sick. But we're back on track and are ready to handle everything again. I'm sure you want to get back to relaxing, right? How about we just let James do his job?" Just before James' father can respond, James surprises me by saying, "No. You're right. You do know why you have to leave. I look up at James, quickly, thinking about grabbing his hand now just to stop him from going overboard. But it's too late. That entire dinner, all you did was criticize Ray and the way we're doing things. She is my mate. She is the Luna of this pack, not some twisted version of my mother. You need to leave, because I don't want you around her, and I'm sure after throwing all of your improvements at her, she doesn't want you here either. If you can't be supportive and encouraging towards my mate, you have to leave, and I have enough evidence to kick you out right now without hesitation. Either you leave peacefully and avoid completely cutting ties with me and this pack, or we do things the hard way. I grab his hand. His father nods, clearly upset. Don't worry, he mutters, backing up. I'll go, but when you need my help again, which you will, I expect an apology. James squeezes my hand, pulling me closer as we watch his father walk away. Get back to work, he tells the nearby guards, and they immediately turn and continue with whatever they were doing before the argument just now. He leads me back in the direction we came from, not letting go of my hand. I quickly catch up to his pace. Where are we going? I ask, hurrying along. We're going to make plans for your announcement. We'll have a party, and I'll invite the leadership of other packs, and everyone can dress up. I'll send invitations, and we can have it in the ballroom. I slow down, causing James to snap back to reality. You don't have to do all of that, I say, genuinely not expecting such lavish and grand event. Just thinking about more alphas and lunas and betas and everyone in some private version of the gathering, with more dresses and ties and casual conversations, makes me need to stop and rest for a moment. I want everyone to know, he says, fueled. You deserve for everyone to know. You deserve a nice party. We continue back towards the pack house, and I tell Gail and Teresa of James's plans as he makes a few calls. They seem excited by the idea of a party and tell me that it'd be good for me, but they only think I'm a sad girl who needs more love and don't know about Ray, who struggles at public events. And now I am doubting my theory that I'm fine with people knowing what they know. Maybe I should blend all of the versions of myself into one, but the more that I think about that idea, the more I worry that some are stronger than the others. I don't know who would take over the rest, and I'm scared that may be the girl who lays in the bathtub. If I embrace her, she may strangle the others, and eventually her hands would be around my neck. So I agree with Gail and Teresa, finding my way back to Content Ray. Do you like this one more than the last one? I turn away from the mirror and shrug. I don't know, Gail. They're all pretty. I just can't make up my mind, I guess. Gail picks up the next dress by the hanger and hands it to me, this time giving me a long, black dress with a slit on the left side, covered by lace. I take it and shuffle into the bathroom, tired of looking at myself in the mirror while I yank them on. Each time the bags under my eyes seem to grow darker and I contemplate just picking a random one from the pile, just so we can stop. Where do all these dresses even come from? I ask through the door, pulling the dark fabric over my legs. James asked me to get you some things to try on for the party, so I did. Be glad that you have options, she says as I come out, spinning around so she can zip me up. I like this one. Good. Then I'll wear this one. I rush and make my way back to the bathroom to take it off, not needing much of a glance in the mirror at all. We've got 2 more, Ray. Try them on just so you're sure. I peer back at her and sigh. I've tried on plenty. This one is my favorite. She holds up the last 2, one in each hand. Are you sure? My eyes scan over the red, shorter one on the right, then the silver, endless, simple one on the left. I'm sure. I want to wear black. Black can be a little sad, can't it? I take a closer look in the mirror, liking how it is long-sleeved and lacy and elegant. I don't think it is. I think it looks polished and clean. I dare say that I look pretty, mysterious, and pretty. A small smile lifts my cheeks and Gail sets down the last 2. All right, what shoes are you going to wear? My eyes drift to the closet and I grab my heels, the only pair I own, the short-heeled cream ones my mother gave me. These don't go, do they? Gail shakes her head. What size shoe are you? I look at the sole of the shoe and read off an 8. I'll bring you something before you get ready then. Remember, shower and dress and everything by 6. James should be home in an hour, she says, as he leaves my room with the tried-on dresses laying over her arms. Make sure he's on time, will you? Sometimes he believes he has enough time when he doesn't. Okay, I will. I call, and the door closes. I turn back to the black dress laid on my bed and run my hand over it, feeling a bit more prepared and assured now. At least I'll look nice, and not chestless as I did in my old gold dress. This feels as if I'm turning to a new page. It's time to attend a party like a leader and not a drunk. I'll walk in with James, my alpha, and I'll greet everyone who intimidates me with my chin held high. It sounds like the right thing to do. The past week, while everything has been put together for tonight, my mind has been drifting to thoughts of panic, and my eyes have been looking for an escape. But I have to remember that I am one of them now, a leader. Alpha blood or not, I belong here, and I'm not going to let anyone take that from me. I'm sure I'll run into rude Lunas at the party, people who find me inadequate, and I know that I'll be tested. It's good that I've prepared myself in the mirror, saying things like, "Oh, I'm not alpha blood, but the moon goddess brought us both here, didn't she?" And, yes, I know it's rare for a normal werewolf to be mated to an alpha, and it's also rare that she's Luna of one of the strongest packs. Crazy, right? And even, disrespect me one more time and your land will have my name written on it in blood. Yes, I did get angry at my reflection for no reason at all, but I did hype myself up for tonight. Obviously, everyone attending is an ally, and I'm not going to start a war, but acting like a badass was amusing. Part of me wants to wear a gun strapped to my thigh tonight just to carry that fiery feeling with me. I've grown used to the happy version of myself, and I'm not going to let her go anytime soon. As for James, he has been in alpha mode ever since his father left, taking charge of the rogue situation and fixing it within a few days. After that, he's been on some sort of mission to strengthen and sharpen the guards, giving them longer and tougher training workouts, determined to never let another rogue past our borders. He tells me that he thinks of my laying under a dead rogue whenever a guard protests, and tells the guard of it, and that they get right back to work. Ever since he's been all tough leader, he's also been very open with his cravings for me, as he puts it, and I think his animalistic side is getting to his head. But I can't lie and say that it doesn't make me weak in the knees. After I shower and wash my face and dry my hair, I head out into my bedroom with my robe wrapped cozily around me in search for my minuscule amount of makeup. Really, it's not used enough to be considered mine, and I'm sure all of it was taken from my mother before she could even use it herself. I find the small blue pouch tucked on a shelf in the closet, and I bring it back to the bathroom, dumping its holdings out on the counter. There's an unopened tube of mascara, a hardly used compact of blush, a compact of powder, and a fresh tube of a nude beigey pink lipstick named Rosaline. Intrigued by the lipstick, I carefully coat some on my lips and stand back in the mirror to get a good look. "That's nice," I murmur, and click the lid back on the tube. My hand then reaches for the mascara, twisting it open and holding up the black, spiked end to my eye. I hold my breath as I steadily run it through my lashes, darkening them and making them a tad longer. "That's nice too," I murmur again and peer down at the two compacts. I grab the powder and open it up, the shade light and brightening. With the puff underneath the powder, I tap it into the product and think logically. To brighten would make the spot seem larger, and to darken would make it smaller. So I dab some under my eyes and on my cheekbones, and I stand back again. I think it did something. If anything, it made my under eyes less dark and look more awake, so I'm going to take this as a success. Finding the blush somewhat intimidating with its deep pink color, I dab some of the lipstick on my cheeks instead and blend it with my finger. I let my hair down and run my fingers through it, feeling my heart beating faster from excitement to put on the dress. I can't wait for James to see me. The dress lays in its spot on the bed, and I slip on my nice underwear before abandoning my robe for the dark, soft fabric. I manage to zip it up halfway myself before seeking help from someone in the house. My bare feet pad against the wood floors, and I call down the steps, "Gail? Teresa?" After hearing no reply, I turn to James's doors to see a thin strip of light at the bottom. I wanted to wait until I had my shoes and everything, but I suppose I'll have to reveal myself now. Actually, thinking back to Gail's words earlier, I'm supposed to make sure James is on time, so I hurry and knock twice, calling, "James, are you getting ready? I need you to zip me." He calls back, "Come in." So I do. I wander inside to find clothes on the bed and the bathroom light on. He emerges half-dressed, his hair still damp. "Look at you," he breathes out, nearing me, and I can't help but smile. "You look gorgeous, absolutely breathtaking." I turn around, showing him the unzipped zipper. "Thank you." A warmth fills me, but instead of feeling the zipper move up, I feel James's hands sneaking through, feeling his fingers against my skin. "James," I warn, "you have to get ready. We're leaving in 20 minutes. He sighs and zips up the dress, leaving a kiss on my neck as he does so, specifically on his mark. He turns me around and gives me a quick, firm kiss before letting go and grabbing his shirt from the bed. I stand with a flushed face as he slips on and buttons up the shirt, watching him for a moment before descending back to reality. "I'm going to go and wait for Gail. I'll meet you downstairs." I wish my mother could see me like this, acting as a Luna and dressed as one too. I told her of the party over the phone last night, and she said to have a good time and that she wishes she could be there. After she said that, I realized this party will be cluttered with important people, but not my family. Of course, James will be there, but not my mother or my father. I don't want to think about it too much because I am enjoying my excitement over the party, and I don't want to switch to disappointment last minute. I'm sure everything will be wonderful anyway, and I don't want to mope after so much work has been put into the event. Gail arrives back with 10 minutes left, and she hands me a pair of black heels. There's a thin strap at the top that wraps around my ankle, and as I secure the tiny buckles, I find that it looks delicate. "Thank you, they're perfect," I say, looking up at her. "Where did you get them?" "They were James's mother's." I stop. "Really?" "Yes. I saw them in storage a few weeks ago and thought they were beautiful. It's just a coincidence that you're the same size." "Well, they're lovely," I say, not overthinking it. "I'm glad you remembered them." James comes downstairs, and when I see him all dressed up, it reminds me of when I first laid eyes on him. He grabs my hand and Gail wishes us luck before we head out the door. Together, we walk down the pathway towards the center of the pack, where the ballroom is. It's quiet outside for where we are, and moonlight drifts from branch to branch before pooling at our feet, lighting the way. With our arms linked, I rest my head against his shoulder. "Thank you for doing all of this," I say softly, my voice matching the gentle hum of nature around us. "We aren't even there yet," James says, leading me through the trees. "I know it's going to be great anyway." He looks down at me and I smile, enjoying his warmth. As we walk along, I wonder if a girl will come stumbling from behind a tree as I did, lost, discouraged, and confused. I already know what I would say to her. "Yes, you are mated to an alpha, and no, you are nothing like Juliana." She won't understand the second part until much later, though. Many strangers greet us as we make our way inside. Though I am familiar with the building from the gathering, it looks completely transformed. Sure, it was dressed up before, but everything is switched around now. There are fewer tables and instead more room for standing and chatting or whatever leaders do. As my eyes scan the area, I see most people standing with a drink, in groups of 2 to 5 people. And unlike the gathering, there are guards at the doors outside and inside. Coincidentally, I spot Theodore with one other guard towards the back, and I immediately make plans in my head to see him. James places his hand lightly on my back, reeling me back to the current situation. Knowing that we'll have to welcome everyone, his movements towards the grouped people don't surprise me. I take a quick breath before we reach the first one, a set of 3. Can we interrupt? James says to the woman and two men. In a friendly way, his free hand gently touches the woman's shoulder as he speaks, causing her to swiftly spin around. The other two facing us as well. I was wondering when you'd get here. You always keep me waiting, she scolds in a motherly way. You know, I've been dying to meet her. She turns to me as she says it, and I smile. Oddly enough, the woman gives me a loose hug, and I glance up at James. Ray, this is Renee. She was good friends with my mother, he explains, and I make sure to smile even more when she pulls away. She is Alpha Alder's Luna. The man standing next to her moves closer and reaches his hand out, so I shake it and assume he is Alpha Alder. It is difficult to tell who is an alpha when in a crowd stuffed with them. It's nice to meet you. We won't be Alpha and Luna for much longer, I'm afraid. Our son is taking over any day now. All he has to do is let him, she nudges her mate. Alpha Alder says, he's getting there. Anyway, when I saw that you were having an announcement party, I nearly fainted. I've been waiting for this day, your mother and I both. Oh, she'd be so happy, James. And you, she switches back to me. You even look a bit like her, so beautiful. Which pack did you come from, dear? The Waters pack, I say, thankful that she's asking easy questions. And where did you two meet? A gathering at the Waters pack. James takes over. I went to meet with Alpha Waters while a few pack members attended the event. We ran into each other. She looks to me again, the sweet expression sticking to her face and never peeling off. And he's good to you? Yes, he is. His hand returns to my back and my heart finally settles. I hate to leave you, but we have to make our way around, greet everyone, you know? Of course, of course. She shoos us off. It was lovely meeting you, Ray. It was nice to meet you too, I say back, my voice light and airy. We make our way around the room, and I introduce myself to Alphas, Lunas, and Betas, and I wonder how James has so many allies. Maybe it is not so complicated. Maybe it is simply because he is a good, smart Alpha who knows what he's doing. I haven't gotten the chance to see him in action many times, so hopefully after this, when my announcement is official, and when I'll be helping around the pack, I'll get to. Many of the alphas we walk up to seem to admire James greatly, and I feel as if I'm being introduced to a new side of him. They are quick to applaud him for fixing the rogue situation, and I wonder if I should have myself. I didn't know it was such a big deal. Maybe that's just another sign of my lack of experience. It's another push for me to get involved with the pack, and to learn about my position. Like a pair of cherries, we stay close. James doesn't leave my side. Whenever I stumble or struggle to find the right words, he takes over and eases me back in, knowing that I am not the most charismatic person. Most of the women I meet come off as confident and powerful, but none of them are rude. None of them point out my lack of alpha blood, unlike I expect. It is hard to keep up with them, though. It's clear that these women are experienced when it comes to events such as this, but it's when I spot a girl around my age that a sense of curiosity hits me. After we leave Alpha Reynolds and his beta, I lead James towards her. Alpha Grant. A man turns and pats James on the shoulder. Quite the announcement you got going on here. The younger girl drifts towards the man, and I notice her pregnant stomach right away. She warms up to him, no longer looking cold. It's nice to see you again, Lance, James says back, and after going through the normal round of introductions, finding out that the girl is his Luna, James and Alpha York immerse themselves in a deep conversation. I keep glancing at the girl, excited to have found a Luna that can possibly relate to me. We're both likely the youngest Lunas here. My hand stays caught in James as my eyes roam over her large belly again. Hi, she says surprisingly and straight to the point, even though it's one word. I know we kinda already introduced ourselves, but I'm Ava again. We seem to separate from our mates, creating our own conversation while they ramble on about the rogue situation. I'm Ray, again. She smiles, and out of all the smiles I've been given tonight so far, hers seems the most genuine. I see you glancing at my belly, she says, relaxed. I'm pregnant, just in case you thought it was because of some other bizarre reason. Oh no, I know. I'm sorry for staring. She shrugs, her gold dress flowing from her body with hints of sparkles as it cascades down. Ava looks to be truly glowing. I don't mind. A lot of the women in here stare at it and nudge their mates. The men, not so mesmerized, but the women are constantly asking to feel. So, are you wanting one for yourself, or are you just intrigued by the fact that I've been standing for this long? A short laugh escapes me. No, I'm just intrigued, I guess. I mean, I'm mostly just glad to see someone around my age who's also in my position. Yeah, not a lot of young ones right now. Honestly, it's pretty nice talking to someone who doesn't scold their mate for not giving them a baby yet after talking to me. So you're not alpha blood? That's what I've been hearing. The crowd whispers. I shake my head, happy that someone finally brought it up. Sure, at first it was a relief that no one noticed, but after a few stares and hints, I've been growing impatient. No, I'm not alpha blood. I'm regular blood. Well, how regular can you be if you're mated to Alpha Grant? She asks, not really asking though. Honestly, there's no difference besides the whole born with power thing. There's the pain I share, not knowing why I feel so comfortable around her. At this point, it can't be her age. It must be her personality. Something about Ava tells me that she's not judgmental. It hurt when he marked you, huh? I nod. But I'm sure that's it. Though there are not many people to ask, the chance of an alpha being mated to a non-alpha blood is more unlikely than I first thought. Our easy conversation continues until I notice someone out of the crowd. First, he appears in the corner of my eye, then as a flash in the crowd. I carefully look from person to person, not seeing him anymore. A feeling rises inside of me, and I grab James's arm. He breaks conversation with Alpha York and looks down to me. Is everything all right? My eyes find his immediately. Is your father here? No, Ray. He hasn't been back. Why? I gaze at the crowd again. I thought I saw him. Are you sure? I don't know, maybe I just got him mistaken with someone else. I'm probably seeing things. James looks over the people himself, then says, "Excuse us," to Ava and Alpha York, before grabbing my hand and leading me away. Did you see something? I ask in a hushed tone, my voice rushed. No, but I'm going to talk with a guard. Coincidentally, James walks up to Theodore and motions for him to follow us. We go into the back corner of the room before James tells Theodore to walk around the room and send a few guards outside to scan the area. Ray believes she saw my father, and we just want to make sure. Theodore is quick to nod and head off. My eyes follow him as he joins the crowd, motioning for nearby guards to follow him. They'll double-check, all right? I peer up at James and say, okay. We walk around a bit more, and it's not long before James gets sucked into another serious conversation. I try to join and pay attention, but all I want is to find Ava again. Eventually, I give in and tell James that I'll be with her if he needs me, and he lets me go. Really, he looks rather happy that I have found a possible friend within the leaders. I weave my way through the crowd, stopping every few seconds to say hello. It's not until 15 minutes of brief conversation end that I find Ava sitting down at one of the few tables. She sees me walking over and says, I couldn't stand for much longer. I needed a break. I sit down with him. Where's Alpha York? I told him to go converse, even though he insisted on sitting with me. He just left a couple minutes ago. Where's Alpha Grant? He's talking about serious things with other alphas. Oh, about the King of the Alphas thing? I look to her, my eyes leaving the crowd. What? The King of the Alphas, or whatever they call it. No, I heard you. I just have no idea what you're talking about. Really? James never told you about it? She questions, curious. No, I've never heard of that. Well, it's this idea floating around that the alphas need someone in charge of them, like a head alpha. What? Why? Ava leans in. Well, there've been some recent problems with some alphas causing issues. You know, attacking other packs, threatening, killing, trying to turn on the other alphas. We've been at peace for a few years, and the packs don't want to lose it. These alphas are going to bring us back to war times if someone doesn't get them under control. Not knowing what to think, I feel like I've finally been accepted into the leader's circle of private information. These are things only alphas and lunas know, and it's both unsettling and intriguing at the same time. Really? I had no idea. James and I don't really talk about those kinds of things. Not yet, not yet. Well, James' name has been brought up a few times. I attended the last Alpha meeting with Lance, and they were talking about it, bringing up possible people who could do it. Become head of the Alphas? I question, not even grasping onto the fact that there's Alpha meetings. Yeah, and people mention James? Ava nods. I can't believe he hasn't told me. I breathe out and sit back. I don't even know. Crazy? How could someone be head of Alphas? Like I said, it's just an idea. Making my way through the people again, back the way I came, I find James and ask him if we can talk. He gives me a worried look and excuses himself before following me back into the corner. Is it about my father? He asks. The guards reported back that they saw nothing. No, it's not. Ava told me about this King of Alphas thing. What is she talking about, James? How come you never said anything? He lets out a breath and relaxes. It's nothing. It's just some idea that a few people have been tossing around. She told me that it was discussed at some Alpha meeting and that your name was brought up. If it's being talked about at some all-important meeting, then it sounds serious to me. James grabs my hand, using the bond as some sort of assurance. If I thought it was important, I would have told you. It's been in discussion for a while, even before I met you, Ray. It's not likely, and the meetings happen every 2 or 3 months. I didn't go to the last one because I was handling things with you. They aren't as secretive or as interesting as they sound. I promise. I sigh. Okay. I just feel like I'm finally being let in on all the secrets, and I want you to tell me about everything. I want to learn and grow, so if there's anything else that I don't know about and that involves you, I'd like you to tell me before anyone else. We're a team, right? Of course, he murmurs, and I will. The night continues on, and after another hour, I find myself nodding off. As we stand and talk, I lean against James, depending on him to hold me up and not let me tumble to the ground. At one point, my eyes shut and stay shut, and James gently taps my back to wake me up. The party's almost over. Why don't you head back and sleep, he says softly into my ear, while the 2 men across from us babble on. No, I can't go. It's my party, I mumble, forcing myself to lean off of him, showing him that I'm not tired. I can wait. I promise. Everyone is leaving in a few minutes. I'll meet you back at the house after I thank everyone for coming. No, I protest. I need to thank them too. I stand for 5 more minutes before I feel James move, assuming he's walking to more people to start the thank yous. I mindlessly trail along. Can you take her home, Theodore? She's falling asleep. Awake again, I quickly mutter. I'm not. I'm going to say goodbye. Let's go, Theodore says and grabs my arm, leading me out like a grandmother. I give James a glare and he smiles, and I can't help but not glare because he's so charming. I'll be there in half an hour, okay? James calls as we exit the building. I obediently walk with Theodore, but I can't help but say, I could have stayed. I'm fine. I didn't get much sleep last night, but I can handle it for a few more minutes. We're already on the way, he says, and I listen, beginning to look forward to my bed. It's dark now. The sky blends with the tops of the trees, and I can hardly tell the two apart. My eyes don't really watch the ground as I walk, but I don't stumble, and I'm sure it's because I'm busy dreaming of sleep, and Theodore is doing all the work. He pulls me out of the way when something comes up on the path, a tree root or stone that I'd be sure to trip over. Thinking of myself laying in bed is easy when I've only slept for 4 hours in nearly 2 days. I was nervous for the party before I had my battle with myself in the mirror, and the anxious thoughts came at night. I laid beside James and enjoyed the feeling of it for the majority, finding a simple distraction in him. Theodore takes me all the way to the front door, and I say goodnight and thank you before he leaves. The house is empty, Gail and Teresa being gone by now. I've never liked the feeling of an empty house, because it feels eerily full when I'm the only one home. All of the stray bumps and creaks spook me like a child. When I was younger, and when my mother would be gone at night, I would stay strictly in my bedroom with the door shut. Every light would be on in my safe space, because for some reason, children think lights can save them. I make my way upstairs and struggle with the zipper of my dress, twisting my arm around and pulling down, frustrated and exhausted. It eventually gives in and I abandon it on the floor, a black puddle for me to accidentally step in later. I groan and slip on a pair of pajamas before crashing to the bed, too lazy to do anything else. I stretch out like a cat, letting the blankets absorb me fully, pulling the edge to my chin. All is well and I drift off within minutes, expecting to wake up when James gets home. Sounds prod at my sleeping head, but nothing wakes me, not until I hear the bedroom door open. Scent fogs my mind and I struggle to get up, feeling like my body weighs 10 times heavier than normal. "James?" I croak. Everything is quite a blur, until I am yanked up by my arm. Like being splashed with water, I panic into a state of alertness, my heart shooting forward along with my body. The grip is tight and unfamiliar, yet the scent grows familiar, so I look up. It looks like James, but some odd version of him. My eyes struggle to focus, and everything seems to vibrate. It takes a second or two, until I realize it's his father, but by then, he's forcing me to my feet. My legs refuse to work along with my head, but his father doesn't stop. What are you doing here? What are you doing?" I grumble, regaining my body back. James isn't here. He attempts to take me into the bathroom, but I hold back. "James isn't here," I say again, my conscience returning. "You need to leave, now." His father is rushed with his movements, and he grabs me again, jerking me into the bathroom and letting me fall to the tiled floor. Nearly hitting my head on the bathtub, I frantically attempt to get up, but he pushes me back down, then grabs something out of his pocket. I catch a glimpse of the blade and my heart plummets, screams leaving me as soon as I can muster. He blocks my sudden run to the door, wrapping his arms around me. I kick and try to break free, blood rushing to my face. Hot tears stream down my flushed cheeks as he shuffles towards the tub. My throat is dry and strained, but the cries and screams continue to erupt from within, bringing him to tighten his hold each time. He pulls me into the tub with him. My feet shoot up and down, my heels hitting the porcelain, and I try to make as much noise as possible. James' father's hand covers my mouth, his nails digging into my skin, and his other holds up the thin blade. Not letting him get a hold of my arms, I keep moving. "We're gonna have to do this the hard way, huh?" He grunts, his hand falling from my mouth for only his arm to wrap around my neck. The hold isn't too hard, but I still can't breathe. And I know it's because he doesn't want to leave a dark mark. Tears continuously fall, and the panic grows into a dense cloud around me, suffocating me. "You didn't finish the diary, did you?" he says near my ear, my face turning a deeper red. My hands claw at his arm and the logic for survival settles in, my animalistic side taking over my brain. As he wants, I go limp. After a few seconds, he lets go, and I fight my body to not take a deep breath or cough. I don't last long, though, and I spring to life, managing to slip from his grasp. Scrambling from the tub, I land hard on my side, my hip already feeling bruised. My head is heavy and my throat is tight, but I crawl for the door and tug on the handle, falling with it as it opens. He's quick to grab my legs, but I look back and kick again, causing him to lose his hold. I get a good shot at his chest and he lets out a violent cough. Sweat rolls down my forehead and I get to my feet, running down the hall as I cry out. It's an inaudible mix of help and James that the ground seems to wave and my head becomes dense with a harsh dizziness, the pressure pushing me down the stairs. I slide down and cry out again, this time from the extra hits on my hip. My hair sticks to my face, and I scratch it away and I struggle to get up. James' father's pounding footsteps become louder and louder, and I contemplate running to the kitchen for a knife or running for the front door. Knowing that I have to shift, I dash for the door and manage to get my hand on the handle, but he grabs my hair. I yelp and whine as he pulls me back, my hair knotted around his fingers. He attempts to wrap his arm around my neck again, but I quickly duck, my hair ripping out. In a flash, the handle is mine again, and I yank the door open, hitting him and sprinting for my life. With my hips screaming, I glance back, only hearing my heavy breaths as I power on. The last thing I see before shifting and running into the woods is a large wolf tackling his father to the ground. All the movements blend into one blur, but I swear that his father stopped moving. I swear the man is dead in the grass, facing the moon. The goddess stares down at him. The truth follows me, and I cannot comprehend anything that has just happened. His voice plays over and over in my head. You didn't finish the diary, did you? I bury myself in the trees, and I don't look back again. I sit in the dirt against a tree, the bark scratching my bare back, and I stay curled up. A thin fog gathers around me, the air frigid. My fingers lose color, and I feel as if these are the sensations of death. Everything is cold, so painfully and relentlessly cold. The feeling in my toes fade, and I contemplate shifting again to stay alive. I can't be too far. I can't be off of Packland. I should go back, but I'm scared that his father will grab me again, that he'll choke me and cut me as he did his wife. You didn't finish the diary, did you? A harsh shiver overcomes me, and I hold my bare body tighter, ready to shift, even though my wolf is exhausted. This is what I get for not letting her out enough. She grows weak. I need to go back. I need to find James. He needs to know the truth about his... I jolt forward, hearing a distant voice. It comes again. I attempt to stand up, my limbs frozen in place and sore. My fingers grip at the bark of the tree, prying me from the ground, dirt getting under my nails. Then I feel him. His scent grows strong in the air. Ray. Relieved, I throw my head back. James. My voice is rough, hardly loud enough to sound like a yell. I'm here. I wobble in the direction of his voice, back from where I came. My ankles bend and my bare feet mold over rocks and dead brush, and I use my hands to make myself decent, covering my body where needed. The wind is sharp against me, like little needles. James? I call again. He appears and hurries over to me, holding my robe. I knew he was the wolf who brought his father to the ground, the one who... He must have seen me run off. James grabs my arm and holds me up, keeping me stable as I wrap myself up. He catches a glimpse of the growing bruise on my hip and gently brushes his hand over it before the soft fabric of the robe can cover it. He killed your mother, I'll mumble, telling him what he deserves to know. He tried to kill me. He tried to get me in the bathtub. James pulls me in, his fingers seeping into my hair as he holds me close, as if the sky were falling. We have to go back, Ray. You're freezing. I tense. Is he? He's gone, Jane says simply. Come on. He holds most of my weight as I limp along until he decides to carry me the rest of the way. I bask in his warmth, thawing my skin. His grip on me is tight, but I don't tell him to ease up. I let him have me. I'm okay, I say, needing him to process it. You're not. Your side is purple. I'll be okay. He glances down at me, looking extremely frustrated and upset, but mostly angry. He killed my mother. And he almost took you too, he thinks over, letting out his jumbled thoughts into the open air. If I didn't get there, don't, I murmur against him, not wanting him to think about what-ifs. When we make it back to the house, my eyes trail to the ground, no longer seeing his father where he laid before. I'm glad. I don't want to see his dead body. I don't want to see what James has done. The fact is inevitable. He killed his father to protect me. He saw the look on my face as I ran out of the house. He saw him chasing me. He heard the screams. He didn't even need to think over the possibilities. All he needed to see was my fear. I wrap my arms around him now before he puts me down at the door. Tears well in my eyes, but I make sure they don't fall. Tell me what happened, he says, easing me inside. I sit down in the living room, Jane standing before me. I was sleeping and heard the bedroom door open. He just grabbed me and pulled me into the bathroom. Recalling it makes the anxious feelings return. He pushed me to the ground. I saw he had a knife or blade or something before he pulled me into the bathtub. James seems uncomfortable and stiff, but I continue. He tried to cut me, but I wouldn't let him, so he choked me. My voice becomes shaky. I thought I was going to die, but I got out, and that's when I bruised my hip. I fell out of the tub and landed on it. I don't know, he was grabbing me feet, so I kicked him. I ran downstairs and out the door while he followed me and grabbed my hair, and then I ran out of the house and you were the last thing I saw. The tears fall now, and I let them. He was going to make you think I'd done it myself, just like your mother. He was going to kill me too. He was going to make you find me like that. It's over now. He's dead. I know that, but you. James grows impatient. He's dead, Ray. I know, but I killed him, Ray, he nearly shouts at me. Stop worrying about it. I move back. James, my voice is slow and careful. He moves away from me, running his hand through his hair, before swiping up the vase on the coffee table and throwing it at the wall. It shatters, and I jump back, staring at the water and fresh flowers and glass on the floor, and the splash on the wall that slowly drips down to the mess. Gail always puts flowers in the vase. James, I shout, moving to the mess, but he holds me back. He curses to himself, clearly in an inner conflict. Stay away from the glass. I obey, but don't let it go. I grab him and make him look at me. Before I can speak, he says, You know I would do anything for you, Ray. You know that, don't you? I nod. I need you to stay alive, Ray. All right? Okay. He takes a deep breath. I'm sorry you killed your father. James gives me a look, a sad look that I've never seen from him. It holds grief. It's all right. You're okay. I'm sorry, I say again, and he holds me again. He squeezes as if he needs to absorb me. I'm sorry, James. I'm so sorry. We lay in bed together for the night, not sleeping, just laying. I fear that his father will come for me in my dreams, and James fears dreaming of it, of killing him again. James doesn't tell me where the body went, and I don't mention the diaries. I don't tell him his father's last words. He shouldn't read her pain. He shouldn't read of them drifting apart and the eventual hatred that will suffocate her. I am no hypocrite. I will never read them myself either. I know the effects of those books. I do wonder, though, how much hatred do you have to feel towards your mate to be able to kill them? An incomprehensible amount. I wonder how I became so inadequate in his father's mind to the point where he must get rid of me. Or maybe he didn't see me. Maybe he saw his mate. Maybe he was reliving his past. It's frustrating to never know. It's hard knowing that we'll have to move on from such an event so quickly. I can't live out the rest of my days thinking and fearing over the one day I almost died. James cannot grieve his father's death and the truth of his mother's while needing to run a pack. After this night, after our hours of holding each other, the shock must end. This is the time when I become a leader and where James realizes his true position. This is where we move on, forever only having a few hours. But I think it will be easier than I predict. There is still so much that needs to happen, so much that will distract us. Ray, James calls, and I hum, his arms tightening around me as we lay buried in the blankets. I love you. I let out a breath, a light, airy warmth sparking inside of me. I love you too. January 20th, 1993. I reached 7 months today. Theresa was right, it must have been Martha. I suppose her healing just does not work on me. But I am here now, and I wait restlessly for the day my baby will come. The doctor says I visit him too much, and I'm sure it is because a part of me wants him to tell me that the process has somehow magically sped up for me. I went to see him yesterday, and he says everything is moving along just fine and that I need to be patient. Obviously, he has never been pregnant before. Every day feels like a year, and I just want him out. James did not come with me yesterday, but I did not expect him to. He has not come to an appointment since the first one. As my belly grows bigger, he grows snappy and moody. always yelling at me for the most pointless things. Teresa tells me he is just nervous and anxious, but I cannot help but think he hates the baby. James has no reason to. He has done nothing to him. I even brought up the idea of naming the baby after him, but that only lit him up more. We do not sleep together at night, not for nearly a year. It worries me. I feel like we are growing too far apart to be fixed. He avoids me like he once did. I feel like things are going back to the way they were, only worse. Even my mother tells me to leave, to come stay with her until the baby is born to give James some breathing room. He should not need breathing room. I am his mate, and I am carrying his child. How can he act as if he hates me? It is as if our bond has been completely destroyed. The moon goddess must be taking her revenge, hating the fact that I have my baby, so she takes away my love. Why can I not have both? Why must she have one? Why must she have one? Is it wrong that I chose my baby over James? Is it wrong that some days when he is fuming, I wish she would take him completely? Yes, it is. It feels wrong. But some days, when he is fuming, I cannot help but think that he wants the moon goddess to take me completely as well. The sun's rays warm me, my skin illuminating with life. The golden glow brings a heavenly filter to the forest around us, like walls protecting our castle. This is our land, the true alphas. In the middle of the calm meadow is my home, James's home, our family's home. In the trees is an army of men, his men, guards that protect us from the jealous and the evil. In the morning, I wake up and quietly tiptoe downstairs, meeting Gail in the kitchen. She hands me a cup of coffee, and we sit together outside on the porch. I took her with James and me to the new house. She's family to us. I wish Teresa was here too, but she's passed away. She's in the goddess's hands now. I can already feel him, I murmur, lifting the mug to my lips, warmed even more by the coffee, feeling as if true happiness is an external and internal warmth that makes one comfortable wherever they are. Should we get the children? I shake my head. I'll let him wake them. The pack is close by, a few minutes' walk. We offered the pack house to Will, but he insisted we let Theodore and his mate have it. Our children like to play with his, a set of twin boys who look exactly like him. Theodore loves his family with all his heart. I see it when he looks at them. It makes me proud to be his friend. There he is. I'll get breakfast started for the little ones, Gail says, heading inside. My eyes are entranced by the sight of my mate. He walks with two guards, talking, glancing up to me, shooing them. I make my way down the porch steps, meeting him halfway. An animated smile stretches over my face as he wraps his arms around me. His scent engulfs me. This one was too long, I mutter, my face pressed into his shoulder. He pulls back, looking down at me. I know, there were land issues between the York pack and Ken pack that I had to settle. Both were very adamant about not giving in. I nod, running my hands down his arms, simply happy that he is here now. Where are they? They're waiting for you to wake them up. I follow James inside as he surprises the children one by one. First, James, the oldest at 7, named after him, carrying on his family's tradition. Then Bridget, who's 4, and the most loving little girl I've ever met. And finally, our baby Leah, who is only 13 months, cozy in her crib. With everyone downstairs eating breakfast and little Leah in her high chair, I tell everyone, you're going to visit Theodore, Madeline, Cameron, and Aiden today while Dad and I handle some things. I need you to, I look at James and Bridget, to go get ready after you're done eating. Gail will go up with Bridget while I get Leah ready. Soon enough, James and I are alone with Leah, but she's far too busy staring off and eating dry cereal to interrupt. I look up at him. You know, it was 9 years ago today that we met. I know, and I remember everything, he says, surprising me. I remember you stumbling onto the pathway. I remember forcing you to come back with me. I remember being so incredibly cruel, but you never left, not genuinely. And even now, I still am not sure why, but I'm ever so thankful that you didn't. We share a short kiss before Leah speaks her baby language and begs to be set free. Before getting up and leaving our bubble, I gaze into my mate's eyes and say, "I love you, James," which is the most honest statement I will ever say. He smiles at my words, at our family, at the little world we built. "I love you too, Juliana." What? Confused but joyful, James says, "I said I love you too, Ray."